So, you said you're starting training today, Seeps?
Yes. I did try and train last week, actually, oddly enough. And then I think I might have re injured myself on Wednesday because I couldn't sleep the entire Wednesday night. The madam was not happy about that.
Right.
Uh, because when I'm in pain, I become a child. I become an infant when I'm in pain. I just scream and shout like a little baby. So Wednesday was a tough one, and then I tried to train a bit on Saturday.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it, so I just decided I'll start everything today.
Like,
Um,
is it your back fucking out or what's up?
Lower back, it's a very weird thing. It starts on the left side, lower back,
Yeah.
the left side, and then it shoots across, and then shoots back, and then shoots down that foot, the left foot. It's odd.
Oh, that is. You tweak the disc, my man. I've been there. I know what that feels like. Tweak the disc.
I did not want to admit it or accept that, but I think that is the case. Yeah.
The telltale sign. Once it shoots down to the foot, like that nerve is fucked.
And the thing is, I think I re-injured it doing stiff leg deadlifts, and I just had 100 kilos on the bar, and I could feel it that
Oh, shut.
this is not good.
Funny enough, I never injure myself on a max attempt,
Mm.
and I never injure myself on the lower weights. Now, some people they'll be warming up and then they'll tweak
Hmm.
themselves. Mine's always in the middle. I'll be on the third rep of something that should be comfortable, and then that's when it'll go.
No, my mine is usually with the warm ups. A lot of my injuries come with the warm ups actually. A
Like,
few squats
yeah,
actually. It's all in my top sets. Something always goes wrong with my top sets with squats. But bench, I'm not strong enough to even think of injuring myself. But
yeah.
deadlifts, usually my warm ups with deadlifts.
I remember. I was like third when I herniated the disc properly. I was like second or third set in. I was like second last rep from done, and just as I came up, I just felt it go,
Mhm.
dropped it, and the worst part is it didn't hurt immediately. It felt uncomfortable. It felt weird, and I was like, I think that was my disc, but I'm not sure. I can still move. There's a little bit of discomfort, but I'm not too bad. I'm walking around. There's
All
only a
right.
slight hesitation with movement. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how I feel tomorrow. For the life of me, couldn't get out of bed when I woke up. Like it
Jeez.
was down.
Well, oddly enough, mine wasn't that extreme actually. I felt it immediately. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't walk properly immediately. And then as the day went, oddly enough, it did get a bit better. But I did get what do they call it, a Votoran shot. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they gave me a few painkillers, so obviously it would get better. But with this one, the pain was just like this the entire time until the next
Constant,
day.
consistent.
Constant, constant. It was ridiculous. But I think also it gave me a nice perspective on the other side of powerlifting, coming back from an injury. Because I've never had a substantial injury that I needed to come back from like this one. So I'm kind of having to grapple with the mental gymnastics that come with this sort of injury. That do I go in? Do I even try something that's like a deadlift? No, 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 no. Let me not even think of that. I tried and I re-injure myself. I'm retiring. So it's one of those things. It's a lot of the times I've watched a lot of videos of people talking about how they overcame the injuries, but having to go through it yourself
Mm.
it's different. It's different.
How do you feel when you tore your pec?
I've never
That
torn my
was
pec.
no,
Oh, Nicole,
I
sorry.
thought. So what happened was I was like chilling in an office chair like this, and I was like kind of slouching, and then I
Okay.
decided, I wanted to. I went PTSD to try and do it again, and I tried to like pick myself up, and as I did it, I just felt like shooting pain across my pec, and I thought I was like having like heartburn or something. Like all of a sudden, it didn't even cross my mind that that's what it was. And then I didn't even tell you straight away. I think I told Ed like 2-3 weeks later, and I was like, I had this pain, and my bench hasn't been, the way it hasn't been benching. And then he's like, dude, I think you tore your pecs. And I'm like, well, fuck. That makes sense. And then bombed out at Nationals that year because I retore them. Yeah, that wasn't fun, hey?
That was a cuck one.
That wasn't fun.
Like
Which nationals were these? Were these not lost? Was it the year before?
yeah, 2022?
22,
Yeah, 2022.
Okay.
Like on the warm-ups, we had healed at that point. We're like, okay, cool. I think we're over it. Everything's good. Nah. Warm-ups, things are flying. On the platform, first attempt, bad boy goes. And like it's like a muscle belly tear. So it's not when you tear off, you're fucked. You're done. That's all she wrote. When you get a little tear in the belly, it's like, okay, how bad is it? How sore is it? You still have like room to play, which is probably a bad thing because you don't just leave it. You still try and work around it. So yeah, in hindsight, we should have just left that one.
And the thing was with me, any difference, like, because warm-ups, we were warming up on a different bench compared to what was on the platform. So any little difference that there is affects my bench, like, completely. So yeah, so I think upstairs it was more of a soft bench, and then on the platform it was,
In your defense,
Oh, was it
the
no joke, it was a wooden.
No, dude, that was a very uncomfortable
was a
bench.
wooden-
In your defense, that was not a. I thought she was exaggerating until like next day was my turn. Got into the platform, I'm like, this is a cock bench. Oh, this doesn't feel great.
And the thing is, like, because I'm such a small person, the width of the bench is also quite
Yeah, it was a wide bench.
So like, my triceps were already touching the bench when the bar was on my chest. So like that also threw me off.
Okay.
So now every time I compete, I always like, can I just feel the bench? Like, I'm not trying to cheat in no way. I just want to feel the bench. And then in the warm-ups, I'm like, okay, which one is the clip? Even at Worlds, I was like, because I was chilling on the bench because it was off the platform. So I'm like, touch. Okay, which one in the warm-ups were closest to that? Because, yeah, no, I'm not. That was not fun.
Speaking of Worlds, there was a lot of talk and chatter on the interwebs, on the social medias about Worlds towards the end of last year. Did you catch any of that? It basically boiled down to, let me I don't want to misrepresent the point. It basically boiled down to like me and myself, Nicole, a bunch of us went to Worlds. IPF guys also went to Worlds shortly prior to that, I think. Anyway, the basic point and premise was you shouldn't say too much if you went to Worlds and you had an empty category and now you've won. It was the basic basic vibe of the conversation. I don't want to misrepresent the point, but that was the basic connotation of what they were saying.
Basically, don't celebrate your wins if there was no one else in your category.
Type thing, yeah. How do you feel about that?
Nicole, you want to go first?
For me, as someone that experienced that, there was no one else. There was supposed to be someone in my category, and then rocked up. There was no one there. So, things happen like that.
People pull out.
But it's kind of unfair because I can't help that no one else rocked up. I was there to perform. And the thing is, the under 60, like the lower body weight junior females, there's stiff competition. It's not like it's not a competitive category. It is. It's growing. But it's just, I can't help it that on the day no one else showed up. I mean, I broke world records. So it's like, yes, I didn't compete against anybody, but in the whole federation, I got the highest numbers in those categories. So that doesn't also now, what's the word I'm looking for? That's quite
invalidate.
Invalidate. invalidate my performance at the end of the day. And then there's also like, I know IPF doesn't do it, but like best overall junior. There was a girl in the category above me in the under 67 that was cock strong. And at the end of the day, my numbers just were better than hers. So it's like there was other juniors there, but it showed that I was the best junior on the day on the comp. So that's just my thing.
I think for me, if it was a few years ago that I would have been asked this question, I would have slightly agreed with them. But where I'm at now is that no one is allowed to police how you celebrate your victories. So, regardless of how they might feel that it was an empty category, I don't care. I might have been the only person at that competition, but I know the work I've put in. I know what it took me to get to where I'm at, and we're competing on that day. So, I'm not going to allow anyone to go to police how I should celebrate that. So, I think recently I've seen that there's a lot of little weird things that people are saying, especially with regards to certain people who are competing. I heard something actually, now that when you mentioned that, I heard there was a
Mhm.
few things I heard about worlds and all of that. And my general statement is that if you didn't, uh, if you weren't part of the preparation and you didn't do what needed to be done to compete, you can't then sit there and tell these guys they can't celebrate what they've done. So that's my stance when coming to that. Yeah.
My whole thing is I like putting things in context. So
Hmm.
for me, like I had a full lineup of guys. I think there was like six competitors in my category. I won out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I won worlds. I'm technically WPC's 2023 world champion. But I
Hmm.
do like putting things in context. So I'm like, okay, cool. I won WPC Worlds 2023, but I didn't have the highest um, total of 2023, not by a long shot. In
Okay.
a different federation, I could have come dead last.
Mm,
So it's I'm happy with the performance I put on the day, all factors
mm,
considered.
mm.
And I won the category. I'm going to say, listen, I'm happy I won the category. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to start flaunting, oh, I'm a world champion powerlifter.
But
Because I
even if
understand
you did, Ed, what's wrong with that? Even if you did front, because technically you are for
now,
WPC, you are.
for anyone else, if they want to do that, 100%, I'm never going to be
Okay.
the one to argue with them. Me,
Okay.
I'm like, to people who don't know, that world
Mm.
championship label means more than what I've achieved. It's a little deceptive when I say, "Oh, I'm the world champion," but I'm not the best in the world. So I don't like using that title. But it's
Okay.
100% factual. It's
Mm,
100% factual. If you want to use that title, 100%. Like you are technically
mm,
the world champion at that federation. If you want to use that title, 100%. Where I have a
mm,
gripe is, it's like people love to, like you said, people love to nitpick other people's victories. Like
mm.
if you want to be harsh on yourself and you want to be like,
Well,
listen,
yeah.
I only care if I am number one on open
Mm,
powerlifting with the all-time world record. That's the only thing I think is valid. It's the only thing I care about. 100% for you. But what I find shocking and a little unsavory is like, I feel so strongly about that. I'm now going to put down other
yeah.
people who are having a good time,
Mm,
where I'm not involved. I wasn't there. Whether they won, lost, came first, second, affects me absolutely zero. I want to now shit on their parade, even though
mm,
what they're saying is 100% factual. If someone came lost and claimed to win, they're lying, different story. But they won their category, they got their gold. The more publicity the sport can get as a whole, the
better.
better. Celebrate your win, go on TV, do your thing. Let's get a spotlight on the sport. The best thing that could happen to the sport is because someone saw you, another 100 people enter the sport the next year. It's the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think the couple podcasts we spoke about how small powerlifting is in SA. So
Yes.
if I go speak at a school, or if I post on my platform and I'm like, "Hey, I'm a world champ. this is how I got here, and it can motivate another 5 goals, another 10 goals to do it. That's amazing for the sport. You want it to become more competitive. You can't keep on competing against the same 3 people in your category. You know, you want new competition in. So I think, yeah, that's just my perspective.
I've said right now, it's not the best thing to happen to SA powerlifting would not be for Nicholas and Kurt and Colton to, if the 3 of them start breaking all-time world records, that's amazing. I hope that happens. It'll be great for the sport.
100%.
But it would be better for the sport if 10,000 newbies who suck, who absolutely are bottom of the barrel, if 10,000 newbies started powerlifting, that would be better for SA powerlifting than 3, 4, or 5 guys excelling at the world class. I think overall, 10,000 people who suck entering would grow the sport faster.
But with that, Ed, do you think that if those 10,000 come in with the way, especially the attitude that exists within powerlifting now, how many of those you think would stay?
My whole thing is right now, and then powerlifting is a ego attracting sport. Already now, a lot of people's barrier to entry is, oh, you should try powerlifting. Oh, okay, cool. What's everyone else doing? Oh, they're totaling 700, 800, 900. Fuck, I can't do that. Never mind. I'm not even gonna start. It's already that whole it's a paradox where the better the current guys get, the more inaccessible the sport feels to everyone who hasn't started yet.
But that's not the case if you look at the United States, though, Ed. You have the top guys, you have the John Hacks and so forth, but you do have a very large base of newbies who aren't even totaling 400. So that's not the case with them.
I think what they did a really good job of promoting at the bottom. Like I feel like right now, powerlifting is doing the same thing wrong that soccer in South Africa is doing. You want to put all your energy at the very top.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, if you put your energy at the very bottom, 10 years later, you have 100 high-level athletes. But if all your attention comes, I want these 5 guys to be the best in the world. If that's where all the energy and attention is poured into, you'll have 5 guys who are best in the world, and you'll have no one to replace them once they're done.
I think also with USA, I could be wrong in this. I'm not really well known for there, but their top athletes don't compete in local meets. You see them at the Sheffields, you see them at the Pro Raws, you don't see them really at bottom local meets, which then intimidates other people to go and compete as well.
There's also more.
There's more federations as well.
There's more opportunity there also. It's you can be the guy totaling 500 and win your local meet and enter the next level because of that, rather than here am I trying to qualify for nationals and Colton's my competition. How's that supposed to make a newbie feel?
Fair enough, I understand. But I think the point that I was coming from is, for instance, the question you asked was that there were people who were saying that because some people are the only ones in the categories, they shouldn't celebrate or speak that much of their victories. Now you take a group of new people who then get over that initial shock of everyone is totaling 7, 8, 900, decide to come through. Let's say out of the 10,000, 5,000 decide to compete. The 5,000 get to the competition, they do their first comp, and then they meet people who tell them that what you did was nothing.
Right.
You get my point.
It's that same attitude. And listen, there is a space for a certain level of elitism in the sport. Like every sport needs its pinnacle.
Yes.
And there is a certain, but you can praise someone who's reached the pinnacle without pushing down someone who hasn't quite yet.
Yes.
And that's where I think some of the attitudes don't quite come across here. It's and again, it's not everywhere. This is actually small pockets in the sport, but small pockets tend to be loud
But it's
pockets for
becoming
some reason.
a more common thing, Ed. I can speak for the Western Cape because I am here. I'm in the scene from time to time, but I've seen attitudes are becoming central, the central point to competitions now. There's certain people who feel like if they're not happy with how other people are doing things, their opinion should matter over what that person has done. So it's becoming a very tricky environment where you see these newbies coming in and their body language is already they're pulling back and it's their first meet.
Mm,
So my question is always where we want the sport to grow, but with the same people who are killing it. And
I
then we
hear
want
you.
to run and face this federation and that federation. When the athletes, truth be told, need to take responsibility for the environments that we are starting to create in these meets. Because the first time I went to a meet, it was the best thing I've ever experienced. But some of the meets I've attended now, and I look and I think if I had gone to this meet as my first meet, it would be the first and last time you ever see me.
It's
You
sad,
understand what
actually. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh, man, I find certain you get certain crowds that are very cliquey, man. Like
Yeah.
they really to themselves. Either you're in the in group or you're not in the in group.
Mhm.
You're either like you're respected or you're not respected at all. And I find like I don't know. It's I and I'm not that type of personality, man. Like I'm the guy. If I'm at a meet, I'm talking to anyone and everyone. Like I'll make to my own detriment when it's like, listen, I have shit to do. I can't actually focus on you that long, but you're giving me your time and attention. I'm gonna talk to you. And I find like and I find a couple years back in the meets I was a part of, there was that
Mhm.
vibe.
Mm.
Whereas lately, I don't know, it's gotten a little clickier. It's gotten a little yeah.
Again, I don't have anything against people having their own teams or groups or whatever. That's fine. Do your thing, but as you said, don't impose your beliefs uh, on everyone else and want everyone else to hit standards that even you yourself sometimes miss. That's also something we need to take into consideration. Some people have standards that are so high that they themselves miss them. But that's neither here or there. All I'm saying is that let's not impose our beliefs on other people or our set of rules and standards on other people. Let's let other kids enjoy themselves.
I feel like like right now, like mass participation
Yeah.
is would be if powerlifting can go through what
Mm.
CrossFit went through, because CrossFit had an ugly growth phase in the beginning. It had a
Yes,
very
yes,
ugly
yes,
growth
yes,
phase
yes,
where
yes, yes.
everybody and their grandmother was a CrossFit coach suddenly.
Mm,
Everyone's doing CrossFit. They can't bodyweight squat for shit, but they're doing snatches and clean and jerks.
mm,
But 3, 5, 10 million people started the sport. Half of those left. You're left with a huge number of people who are doing it properly. Like if powerlifting, even if we have to go through that ugly period where we have a bunch of 200 and 300 kilo totals in the 100 kg
Yeah.
category,
perfectly
even
fine.
if we go through a year or two of that, if we
Mm,
can just get 10,000 people to join and stay,
mm,
10 years from now, SA is dominating the powerlifting space.
exactly.
I think what's going to help definitely this year and next year is that WPC Worlds is going to be in South Africa next year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is going to motivate so many people to get more serious and to actually show that they belong because they don't have to travel so far and it's home ground advantage. So I think that's props to WPC SA for
Mm,
trying to
mm,
getting that
mm.
into South Africa because that I think that's going to have a major boost
Yeah, I think
in powerlifting.
that's the first time a non-drug tested Fed has done that, eh?
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I think. Could
I'd
be wrong.
imagine that is epic. Something for us non-natties, man. IPF's been having way too much fun on their own.
Right, yeah, no, I agree. I agree. But I think also in terms of building up momentum for people or getting more people on the platform, we need more activities. Powerlifting needs to be out there more. I don't know how. I'm one of those people who just give a problem without giving a solution. However, I still believe that powerlifting needs to be out there more. We need to have little. I think you guys have a comp coming up, a max bench comp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what I was saying. The Eastern Cape, we're definitely trying to. I must say, where we train is the most
Bro, I've never been in a gym like this, eh?
Like, there's so many strong, undercover strong females at that gym that is so interested into powerlifting.
Teenagers.
It's
Mm.
crazy. So yeah, we're lucky to have such a good VA manager to allow us to have such competitions in the gym. So, it's free. You don't have to there's no, that's what I'm looking for.
It's trying to get rid of that barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Because I find this like listen, I've been a part of a lot of commercial gyms. Here in PE especially. Like, dude, like we were there December 31st.
Yeah.
December 31st, a Sunday at like, what was it, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. The gym was packed. The gym was full of people who are there to train hard. For the most part, they train well in terms of percentage. You always get the people who fall on the treadmills, but there's a large percentage of people who train hard, they train well, they're strong. But again, it's that whole like, they're strong for non-powerlifters. It's like, join powerlifting. Okay, what do you squat? I squat 300 plus. Oh, dude, never. I'm not going to do that. I'm like, just don't compare yourself to me, damn it. Just start. So
they never realize that you've been, like, for me as well, they've always like, you squat so much. And it's like, it's taken me 6 years to get there. Like, I think we just posted a video now on STS. I failed 60 kgs at my first nationals, and how many 5 years later I've added 100 kgs onto that. It's because in those 5 years I've worked really hard to get to where I am. So everyone starts. I always say, for the first time I started powerlifting, I struggled to bench just the bar. You have to be a beginner to progress. You can't just be top 3, top 5, you know what I mean? You have to be willing to be a beginner, and I think that's where most people don't want
but you know why it is? In how many sports can you be like, okay, I'm about to do my first competition, and there's a Springbok who's going to be there competing with me? That's the issue with powerlifters. You have entry-level guys who can realistically be in the exact same competition as the best in the country. And that's intimidating. If you want to play, if you're a teenager who wants to get into rugby, you don't actually want to play against your provincial side. But in powerlifting, it's like, oh no, like he's your direct competition. Not actually, because there's age categories, but like you'll compete next to him. You'll see what you did, and you'll see what they did in the same vein.
So are you then saying
USA, like their best don't compete at small local competitions, so there is that room for growth for.
But they have the option though. I don't think we have the option here.
But I mean, this year, I'm not too sure about RPC, but in WPC we have like 24 local meets this year. That's like the most we've had ever, I think. So like we're slowly getting there.
Ed, let me just quickly head to the bathroom. I just need to use the bathroom quickly.
Do your thing while I actually look up and see if RPC has posted their calendar yet. Where would they post to Facebook?
They usually post on Facebook. I haven't seen anything though.
I haven't seen it either, which is quite odd actually. Should be up by now. Because they also host a decent number of comps in the year. So this would be a sport for choice year. Like if you have, let's assume they're also having about, I don't know, 20 odd. What is that? 40 odd competitions to pick from?
Yeah.
That is amazing, man.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Not seeing it?
No.
There must be a WhatsApp group or something. I should message Martin. See if I get in on that WhatsApp group. They must be posting these things somewhere. But yeah, I have hope, dude. I have hope that this year in Pound, are we frozen?
You frozen.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
You're okay on my side, Ed.
Oh,
Am I okay? Okay. Thanks her. She's the problem. So yeah, so I was just saying how like assuming RPC has a roughly the same number of comps WPC is going to have, we're spoiled for choice. So I think this is going to be a big year. I think this is going to be a really good year. Because I think overall we're getting better. Overall, we're getting better. It's just
I also
slow.
feel like this year is going to separate the actual champs from the wannabes. I think this year is also going to be a very hurtful year for some people. Some people are going to be actually going to realize that they are that which they think they are. Some are just going to realize that actually, let me just relax because I'm here. And it's not a nice thing to say. I understand, but looking at the trajectory of how most athletes have been training and what's happening, a lot of guys will be peaking this year. So we'll actually see who, as Nicole said, everyone wants to compete in the 2025 nationals. So guys we're going to see who are the actual guys who, when the moment demands it, they can actually pull it off this year. So which should actually be very interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of dramatic competitions also, which is actually a very nice thing to be part of and to witness.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good year.
And I like a competitive stacked comp.
Yes.
As much as I'm big advocate for mass participation, because I am, but a competitive competition is very exciting to watch. Like it is very exciting to watch. I'm keen because you have a lot of people who have the potential to come up now and like reign some real dominance in the sport. And you have some people who have been up here who need to either defend themselves or relinquish their dominance, which is very exciting. You have the big three who hopefully going to amaze the shit out of it. You know what's funny? As I had that thought. Because in my head, the most dominant people we have in the country right now are Nicholas, Colton, and Kurt.
100%.
Wait, we actually need to promote the females, yeah.
It just hit me.
That's what I was getting to on my phone.
I realized the other day. Do you know how many females in SA have a 500 kilo plus total?
Not just that, 400 plus. In 2023 alone, there has been 20 females that's totaled 400 and more.
Wow.
Right?
Why don't we know about this? And there's 11 that's totaled 450 and more.
That's actually incredible. That was last year.
Flew
over my head.
Yeah.
Just in last year.
Jeez.
Right?
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know why they deserve more promo, man. Like that's incredible. That's incredible. Wait.
If you actually look at it by dots, let me do this quickly. Sorry, as you were saying, yes, Edgar.
Let's look at it by dots. If you rank it by dots, I think maybe that's the most fair way to I'm gonna go all time.
All time.
If you look at the top 20 dots, male and female of all time in SA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the top 20 dots, 5 of them are female. The top ones taking 4th and 5th spot respectively.
In the top 10, you have 3 of them actually there. In
the top 10, you have 3.
So Rowan is here. It's Jade.
So
Rowan.
40% of our top 10 best athletes are female. Crazy, right? Why we never talk about this? We never talk about this. This is actually incredible. And the exciting thing is, 1, 2, 3. All 4 of them are currently still active. And arguably 2 of them haven't peaked yet.
There's a lot that's going to happen this year.
I'm telling you, 2024, man, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year. This is exciting. It's very exciting. Now, man, I'm keen. I think we're gonna have a good time. I think we're gonna have a good time in the year. As long as we can get along and we don't have this like animosity, we all come, we squat, we bench, we deadlift, we cheer, we leave.
I think that's also going to clear itself out this year. That's why I'm saying that a lot of egos are also going to get checked naturally this year. I remember towards the end of last year's competition, I said that unfortunately, you can claim whatever you want to, but the platform is where you have to either prove it, where you have to prove it. You can say what you want to say, but that platform is the great equalizer. So this year, we're going to see a lot of equalizations taking place.
Yeah, like I know my natural tendency is, which might sound contradictory because I'm having this conversation publicly because I've recorded it. But I normally keep my opinions to myself for the most part. Like, I'm not the guy who's gonna go on Instagram and write like 20 different stories about how I feel about how a competition has gone or whatever. I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not.
You speak to the organizer. Like,
Actually, I've seen
But
that you don't even do a meet recap or anything. Eh? You'll just post like a few videos and then that's it. Next.
I try and live in the moment, man. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, things went well. I'll do a meet recap a week or two later when I remember. And if things
Sometimes
went
a
to
month.
shit, and when
There's
things
one
go to
that you
shit,
did a
I'm like,
month
okay.
after the comp, you did a meet recap. I was like, what's wrong with it?
Because it's effort, man. It's effort. I was just happy to be there. I was excited in the moment, and then just live there. But I'm also like, if shit goes wrong for me, because I've had a few, like 1 or 2 nationals or 1 or 2 meets where I'm like, the way the judging was set out and how it played in my favor on the day didn't really agree with, or how a warm-up area was set up wasn't the most ideal or optimal for performance. Like, if you've been in powerlifting long enough, you've experienced that kind of gag. I'm never the guy who's gonna try and tear these people down on social media for shits and gigs. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, like, the vast majority of these people who maybe wronged me on the day, they're volunteers, man. Like, someone took their time out on the day. They got a call wrong. Okay, shit happens. If anything, I'll go to them and be like, admit you got that call wrong and everything is forgiven. Like, admit it to me. Don't need to change the score. Just say it to me. You got it wrong. But even if they don't want to, fine, whatever. It's the name of the game. It's sport. Like, you're gonna get controversial calls. You get it in rugby, you get it in soccer, you're gonna get it in powerlifting. It happens. Only these people don't get paid millions of rands to get it right. So I'm like, okay, it's cut. I move on.
No, having actually refed for the first time last year, I have a newfound respect for all officials. It's I think it's no it's an experience. It was an experience. Let's just leave it at that. It was an experience. It gave me another view of the sport actually, and then of the athletes that are part of this community. And I think to an extent it left a bit of a savory taste in my mouth, as you guys saw when what happened. But outside of that, I have a newfound respect for all officials who run competitions. I used to actually, when Andre was still with us, after some of the comps he would run, I'll stay back, help them pack, ask them questions about the logistics around running a competition, the logistics around. He owned actually the monolift. They would transport all of the transportation of the equipment, they would do all of that by themselves. And I got that side, which is like the meet organization side locked down, but the officiating to set up the comp and officiate, and then you officiate, and then people cry about everything, and then you have to take that in after setting up and taking time out to officiate, and then sometimes he would also compete, Andre, in these competitions. I don't know how he did all of that. He really had a soft spot for the sport that I definitely don't have, without a shadow of doubt. But it was once in a lifetime experience.
Like, he was better than most of us. Like, Andre was something special. I know me. I don't know about you. I hate the organization side of powerlifting. Like, I hate it. The organization side of powerlifting is a labor of love for me. I do not get any joy out of it. I don't like it. Financially, it's a liability because I've made fuck all from it. It's
Mm-hmm.
cost me cash actually. So I'm like, it's just because like I'm right now where we are. It's either I do it because
Mm-hmm.
I'm the most experienced person left.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
either I do it or it's not getting done. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'll sacrifice because I love the sport that much. I want to see it grow. I'll sacrifice. But as soon as someone who is more keen than me and able uh, avails themselves, they're in charge. I'm letting go of the whole thing because I do not
I
like
don't
it.
blame you. I don't blame you, man. That takes another level of love and love for the sport that no, I just don't have. I
I
do
do
not
like
have
it.
it.
I don't mind. I mean, as long as I'm not competing and organizing at the same time.
Yeah, that's cuck.
That,
That is
that
cuck.
that's why I'm so
Oh.
happy I don't have to qualify this year. Cause damn, it's like, yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's all.
that's
That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. Mad preps the people who do it and do it right. And again, it's not. It's difficult to do it right. It's difficult to do it right. Like a lot, there's a lot of points that can go wrong in a powerlifting meet, and you
Mm-hmm.
pray none of those points go wrong. And if they do, they happen when you are free and available to tackle them. Because if
Yes,
you're in the
yes.
middle of something else, shit. And it's a thankless sport, man. Like we other sports have at least some cash available as a little thank you. Here's $200. Like us, we don't get jack.
Except for complaints, yes, doesn't officially get complaints and emotions.
I'm quite fortunate though. Of the last 3 comps I've run, everyone's
Mm.
been really nice. We got nothing but like compliments on it. So it's like
Because
okay.
they're newbies, so they don't know any better.
Or it was very well run.
I mean,
comps.
it was. We have never had hiccups during our comps, except me when I kind of screw up. Guys, that program is difficult. So the program you have for the next lifter that shows up on the screen, I understand why those admin ladies panic because they are working straight.
Dude, that program is finicky.
Like you make one mistake, then you have to like start all over.
Jeez.
The program is shit. But listen, when it works brilliantly. Like, it's awesome to have. I'm not gonna go away from it, but if you accidentally delete something or
press the red instead of the green.
Oh no, it's a mish to fix those things.
Jeez.
But this is short, man. This was fun. It's nice catching up for the year.
Wait. What are you guys excited for 2024? We got it in Ed.
Let me close this window first. Dog barking.
Okay, never mind. Super. What are you excited for 2024?
In terms of powerlifting.
Or anything, really.
I think in terms of powerlifting, finally being able to deadlift, actually, for myself personally, just being able to deadlift and then competing this year. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will happen this year. I'm not going to even mention or make mention of beating anyone because I know I'm not at the point. I'm not at that point where I'm able to even take on that challenge right now. So just competing is my focus now. And then,
I mean, you have a friend that's a bio that can help you overcome these injuries.
He does have those resources available to him if he was to take them up. He just seems like he's not keen.
You know, just say.
We'll get to that, Ed. We'll get to that. But that's what I'm looking forward to personally, 2024, in terms of powerlifting. And then also, I think, as I mentioned, it's going to be a very definitive year. Not the definitive, but fairly definitive. I think there was a year when Nicholas broke the 1,000-kilo total barrier in the country. And after that, the floodgates opened. We saw a lot of talent come in. We saw a lot of guys edge closer to that. And I think this is going to be one of those years again where things are going to happen at the top that are just going to trickle down to the rest of the athletes. So it should be a very interesting year. Also looking at the schedule for WPC and RPC, there's a lot coming up this year. So a lot of good should happen this year in terms of powerlifting.
Lekker.
And you?
Me? Yeah, similar. I'm excited to. There are a couple young whippersnappers coming up, rising up the ranks slowly. I think this is the year where, if you look at how the training's been going, a lot of them, again, like you said, like definitive year, they're either going to make it or not. So I think a decent number of them, if they do pull through the way they should, that top 10, top 20 list in the country is going to shuffle around quite a bit. I'm excited that I'm going to do a lot. I'm competing less this year. Give my body a little bit of a break. I'm getting old as fuck. So I'm pretty much just gunning for nationals. That's my singular focus for the year. So I'm keen to finally, there's a certain benchmark I've been wanting to reach, and I think if I hone in on just the one comp, give myself plenty of time, I think I can get there as long as I don't hurt myself. And yeah, I'm have a huge focus on growing the sport in PE this year. I'm trying to get a couple of schools involved. Trying to get like an inter-school league thing, which is difficult because schools buy in. It's got hard. But because of how many teenagers, I think bodybuilding has helped a shit ton. Instagram and bodybuilding has helped a shit ton because a lot of teenagers are training in general.
100%.
And the genetic freaks are making themselves a little bit more apparent. Like, you're way stronger than all your friends for no good reason because you all train like shit. Let me try and pull you this way. So that's the mission for the year. If I can grow the sport and hit my particular goals, it's going to be a good year. And yourself, Fluffy?
I'm keen just to get strong. Like, I'm also just doing nationals. So I don't know if I should say this or not, but we are gunning for a triple bodyweight squat. I said it.
Gang.
So I think that's my biggest goal for the year. And I'm just keen to see more females pop in, man. It's lonely, guys. It's lonely. I think what I had fun at Worlds was there was so many, not just in my category, but like in the broad spectrum, there was so many girls and so many females that you could chat to, and it wasn't bitchy. Everyone was like cheering for everyone. So I'm keen for that to like be the main focus in SA. So yeah.
It was a full day of females.
Yeah.
Like a full day.
That's beautiful.
So yeah.
Lekker. Should we call it there? Let's call it there. All right. Cheers, you handsome devil. Well, I'll chat to you on WhatsApp later.
All right, then, Ed. Cheers, Nicole.
Cheers, brother. Have a great one.
Ed, hold
Yeah.
on. What do you think of this couple of new guys? There's one who competed last year at the Badger. His name is Sipo also.
What's his last name? Sope?
Thorpe, yes.
Sope, yeah.
Yes.
Dude, again, that's what I'm saying. A lot of like out of the woodwork, guys are coming up, and I'm like, this guy is strong as all hell. I don't think he's young though. I think he's in his 30s, I think. So like older guy, but like relatively new at this level. Dude is
But still, he didn't just lose out to the guy who won?
Wait.
I don't know.
I have this thing open here. Let me find him. There he is. He came second at the Badger Classic.
Yes, he just lost it.
He got what was his total?
Hein.
He lost out to Hein. Hein also, freaking amazing performance last year.
And also there was who was the other guy? Jenga. The one who almost pulled 360. Beltless, I think.
Who's that? You would know.
Is that his surname?
If you look on the Badger Classic thing here on Open Powerlifting, he's the 5th athlete there.
Okay, wait, let me just
switch
this to
280 squat, 185 bench, and a 335 deadlift.
What are you keeping this in the thing?
335. Oh, Jenga. Yeah. Joaquim.
Yes.
Joaquim de Jenga. Yeah, dude, An 800 kilo total guy. That's freaking amazing.
And he's 24.
Yeah, I see. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this year is going to be a big. If all these guys like rock up this year, it's going to be exciting.
And this is just a handful of the guys. There's another Indian guy. He's in Durban. I forgot what his name is. The house. He calls himself the house.
Tariq.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I've also been checking him on Instagram. Also, bloody strong. His bench is phenomenal. Like, he benches like a demon, man.
Tariq, you talking about that? That's one of TK's athletes. He's also amazing. His bench is absolutely ridiculous.
Insane.
But there's another guy in Durban. I
think if his squat comes up, yes, you'll be unbeatable.
But doesn't he also scrap in sleeves?
No idea.
Yes. Then there's the sleeves versus wrapped.
Yes, that's also a thing.
That's an argument all by itself. People are saying that this wraps thing is cheating. It's the new sumo.
Wraps. Listen. You can hate on sumo.
So imagine if you sumo and you use wraps.
You can hate on sumo all you want. It's not going anywhere. You might as well accept it and move
Nicole
on.
is not liking this conversation. Nicole is not.
Guys, sumo is hard.
No, it is. I know. Look, I tried it a couple of times. No, thank you. I'm okay.
The whole like sumo's cheating thing. I'm like, listen, there's a reason I pull conventional. It's not because of my ego. Won't let me do sumo. Sumo's cuck hard.
It really is.
It's the most heartbreaking thing ever. Like, it's difficult.
I missed the lift because I was 1 centimeter too high up.
But what are your thoughts on the whole wraps versus sleeve thing, and not to take too much of your time here?
Bruv, what is my opinion?
I haven't even thought about this.
I don't think they should be like they right now, like in certain categories. Classic raw, you can either do wrapped or in sleeves. I think sleeves should be its own thing.
Yes,
but it is very different. It is very different. However, I'm like I don't see wraps as cheating. Like wraps are a tool, like a belt. They used to aid you to lift more. For some people, it makes a big difference. For some people, the difference is not that major. It is what it is.
So would it be fair for a wrapped athlete and a sleeved athlete to compete together? Same category, competing against each other.
I feel like the sleeved guy should have the option of being in a different cat if they so want to. And I think there is.
No, that wasn't the question, Ed. That wasn't the question. The question was, is it fair? Would it be fair for a sleeved athlete and a wrapped athlete in the same weight group to compete against each other?
I think the wrapped guy has an advantage. The sleeve guy can slap on a bunch of wraps though and join them. If you want,
so
if
it
you want
wouldn't
to put
be fair.
yourself at disadvantage, that's on you.
That's my thing though. If you want to put yourself at a disadvantage, because I mean, if you look at the females, Danelle, she's sleeved and she's number 1.
Oh, yes.
Everyone else is wrapped. I bow down to her because I don't know how the heck she's so strong.
Would it then be fair for everyone else then to go to sleeves, and then we see a fair? What is it? Would it then be a fair display of strength across the field for the ladies if everyone was in sleeve?
If everyone was using the same thing, that is the fairest comparison possible. But my thing is like. That is the fairest thing possible. I'll agree with you there. But I like wraps. I'm keeping them in.
No, I'm with you with that one. I love wraps. I can squat in sleeves, but I love wraps. Something majestic to squatting in a pair of wraps.
Also, there's a little bit of a skill component to a good wrap.
Yes.
Because if you don't know how to squat and wrap, like I'm not like if you want to. get a brand new fresh pair of reps and use them on the comp day, you're in for a tough time, guy. That's not going to work
all
out.
the
The way you
best
think
with
it's going
that.
to work out.
And I've seen a
But
couple of guys do that actually. Fresh pair
Oh,
of
yeah,
reps.
I don't know how. Like, I think last year nationals, these guys have bought like fresh wraps and used them the same day. I'm like, how the hell? But then I also have this thing
Okay.
where it's like beginners using wraps from the get-go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
Because
That's a good
with
point.
me, my first comp I wasn't wrapped. I think it was only once I hit a certain benchmark that we started using wraps on me. I feel like you need to have a solid baseline before you start putting wraps on. I think most people start using wraps so that they have that extra 5-10 kgs advantage. Some people do that.
I
Some people
agree.
do that.
Are you using it as a tool or as a crutch? Same thing with the belt. Yeah, same thing with the belt. Is it a tool or is it a crutch? Like, do you slap on a belt before you've even properly warmed up? Or do you slap it for your main sets? Like, when are you incorporating this thing?
No, but when coming to especially new athletes, I completely agree with Nicole, because I've seen it here where I train with a couple of the younger guys still new in the sport, using wraps just to get in that extra 5-10 kilos. And sometimes I don't want to be that old guy who's like, listen, if you do it this way, I just keep quiet and wait for the destruction to come. And then I jump in and save.
I'm similar, although part of me is like, I don't actually want you to hurt yourself. I want you to be in the sport. I want you to come in and stay.
But Ed, sometimes, especially with the younger generation, I think they need to hurt themselves. Some of them actually need to go through that. Let me rehab for a couple of weeks, and that rehab gives them time to actually think about what they were doing. I really think that for the younger guys, some of them need that
fuck around and find out time.
Yes. Because if you always try and save them, they're gonna think, no, he doesn't want me to be as strong as he is, or whatever they might say. But if they actually fall flat on their face and you come and you help them dust them off and you pick them up, and then they have to spend 4 to 6 weeks trying to figure out what they did wrong, their perspective is different when they come back.
That is very true. Especially these younger oaks. Like that I wish I had the confidence I had when I was like 17, 18, even like 22, 23. I wish I still had that confidence, that blind confidence. I know too much now. I'm cautious as fuck. It's actually holding me back a little bit.
I suppose that there's also a few things we can learn from them in terms of approach to training, because they just go, when they train, they go crazy. So that's something, I suppose, to an extent we can learn from them. But some of them just need to really.
One kid at the gym. There's this one kid at the gym. Listen, he does not know what the hell he's doing, and he
Wait, are we thinking about the same kid?
The light-skinned kid, tall. I talk to him a lot at gym. He doesn't say much.
Oh, the one you tried helping.
He wears a cap.
The one you tried helping.
Yeah.
I thought. Never mind.
Now, who are you thinking of?
I'm thinking about the rugby kid that tries to out-squat you.
Oh, no.
Squatting.
No, not him. He's a lost cause. This other kid I'm talking about, I'm telling you now, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's brand new at the gym. He's watched a couple of Ronnie Coleman videos, and now he's gung-ho. But I must admit, this dude's ability to fuck himself up and keep going is unmatched.
These kids have that, Ed. They have that. It's ridiculous.
He will do like 30 ugly-looking reps on a leg extension. I'm looking at him like that must be burning to hell and back. He'll still crank out another 5 reps. I'm like, I wish I could still push myself that hard.
100%.
I cannot do that anymore. Like if he actually learns what he's doing and like hones it in and starts working a little smarter than he currently is, that kind of work ethic, fuck me, he could be on the Olympia stage. That dude can train hard. It's a little stupid, but it's hard.
No, these kids have that. They do really have that element of losing their minds when they're in the gym. But I still
Yeah,
believe that they need to put fat on their faces, and then afterwards they'll be able to actually think carefully of what they're doing afterwards.
yeah, Shane.
But I don't want them to get hurt. I'm not saying kids should get hurt and disabled and all of that. No, no, I'm not saying that. No, just a little injury, a little bit of an injury,
A
put
little
them back.
tweak, grade
Little
one
tweak,
sprain.
100%, and then they'll be all right.
Humble them a little.
Just bring you back down to earth. Humble you just.
Because we all went through that,
I'm
Ed.
waiting
If you
for
think,
that to happen to that guy, Jim.
Oh, speaking of the rugby kid, my guy, he will walk in. I haven't seen this dude do a single stretch.
Wait, you gotta note that he wears his elbow sleeves all the time. No matter what day
Okay.
it is, you wear that elbow sleeve.
So maybe he already has a little bit of a niggle that he just hasn't learned from yet. Anyway, so he'll come in, same routine always. He'll come in, he'll go squat.
No, he walks in to see the squat rack where he's like big left syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Immediately, just I'm like, okay, like you look like you weigh 75 kilos soaking wet, but whatever, it's fine. Comes in, squat rack, he will warm up on 60. I'm like, listen, I'm not the best squatter in the world, but
okay.
even I warm up on an empty bar.
Yes,
Like, gotta get your body in, gotta get your body in check.
yes, definitely.
Warms up on 60, fine. Goes to 100, okay.
140.
Goes to 140. I'm like, those are big boy jumps. Like
180.
like I said, this guy weighs 75 kilos soaking wet, and he's doing 40-kilo jumps on squats. I'm like, so at 100, I already start looking, because that's a big jump. And I start noticing depth is a little bit higher than 60 was.
Okay.
Still okay.
Okay.
He'll go 140. I'm like, okay, like that was high, clearly. It was fast though. It moved. I'm slightly impressed. Like that moved a lot faster than it should have. It was just a little high, Maybe, next set, work on lowering that depth a little bit.
Yes.
He goes 180, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm invested. What the fuck's about to happen here? It's basically a knee extension that he calls a squat.
And then he stops and then he does calf raises.
Wait. With the bar.
Yeah.
Like the first time we saw that, we were just waiting to hear for a scream across the gym.
Now I'm waiting for like a snap and then a scream.
But the thing, his issue is then you get dumb people that don't know any better. They go up to him and like, yo, dude, that's so impressive. I'm like, that's not what this guy needs right now.
A 3-inch squat with 180.
That's impressive.
A little tweak. This is where my theory comes in of a little tweak. Little tweak. Just 4 to 5 weeks, sit out, little tweak. He'll be all right.
And like I've noticed lately, he's going a little bit deeper. He went from a 3-incher to a 4-incher. But I'm just waiting for, you're going to go a centimeter too low. And it's all going to come crashing down because you've never trained proper depth.
And my thing with that type of kid, if he gets proper structured training, gets into the groove of things, who knows what he could possibly do.
Like my guy, like I said, that 140 was awfully quick for his size. I'm like, there's some strength there. I'm not going to take everything away from him. There's some strength there.
Just needs to be utilized properly.
You train like a moron.
That's why my theory is needed in these circumstances, so that they can come to the light afterwards and then realize their true strength. That's what it's about. I don't want kids to be injured for no reason, for them to realize their true strength.
A little bit of patella tendonitis, just something.
It must be a minimum of 4 weeks out. That's all that needs to happen. It must be a minimum of 4 weeks.
Like 4 weeks out and like 4 weeks of proper rehab. Like you need to like really mobility, squatting low, pause
body weight
sets.
squats. Yes.
They don't know to do that.
They'll find out. Learn the hard way.
That's why 4 weeks minimum. That will allow them time to find out that that's what they need to do. Because the first week they want to try and push, and they're going to make it worse. And
Yeah.
then the second week, they're going to realize that I can't do this. I have to do something else. And that's where the process of coming into the light starts. It's from that second week.
I feel like we're haters.
Ed, let me go fetch my little girl. Thanks for the session, guys.
Dude, appreciate you, man. You have an awesome day. We'll chat soon.
Cheerio.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.